Good day and welcome to Sports Paradise. I'm Dub, short for Big Dub, and remember, if you already go ham, just go hammer. Channel the boy, the legend, the knight, knighted by the Queen of England. Channel him, Sir Lewis Hamilton, and make it hammer time. Whatever you do, anything and everything you do in life, make it hammer time. That's how you'll achieve all your goals. Don't forget. Welcome to a new episode of Sports Paradise. And today we're going to talk about the hottest team in football right now, Chelsea Football Club. We're going to give a preview for the last weekend in the Premier League. We'll update the NHL and the NBA playoff stories. Talk about the Rome Open, which is coming to a close. Then we'll preview the Italian Grand Prix, which is going to be this weekend in Italy. And then we'll see what the NFL schedule is looking like, but mostly just the Pittsburgh Steelers because that's my team. All right. Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me? Honestly, because I know that Chelsea jersey in the background is just blazing hot right now. Blazing hot. The only teams hotter than Chelsea are the ones fighting for the title. Literally the two best teams in the Premier League, Man City and Arsenal. Their last games, they've just been on a complete hot streak, but Chelsea is right up there as far as hot streaks go. They're not up there in the table. They're climbing the table, but they're not up there yet, but they're just on the hottest of streaks. That loss at Arsenal was seemed like it never even happened after what they've been doing as of late. It's just incredible form they're in. 4 straight games, 4 straight wins in the Premier League. That team is clicking. Poch has found something in what he's doing to just make them win, keep on winning. And it's too bad the season only has 1 game left because, man, they would have been, right now they're just getting so hot, and to end the season is just cruel. We've got to wait until August, September before the new season starts. And it's just sad. No Chelsea Football Club for a while after Sunday's games. But hey, this season, before it started in the Premier League, Chelsea was doing quite well in the preseason. Of course, preseason doesn't matter, but coming into the season, they were really badly injured, and Poch was just trying to find the right formation, the right players. Everyone is still getting their feet under them. They're playing with some pressure, and Nico Jackson missing chances. Cole Palmer was still getting going. He was always consistent. The midfield, the defense was making mistake after mistake. It was just shaky to start. They started to get healthier. Nico started to score. Cole Palmer started to become even better. Before, he was just only Chelsea fans were yeah, this guy Cole Palmer, watch out. But as the season went along, he became world news, nominated for Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season. Cole Palmer has just had an amazing year, one of the best. I want to say this twice probably, but I watch Cole Palmer and it just makes me happy that I started watching football. Chelsea, man, just passionate. Mbappe is my favorite player, but as far as Chelsea goes, as far as who I like the most, Cole Palmer is up there, man. It's always cold. Woo. Ice in his veins. Doesn't care. Any time, any day, he'll score no matter what. And I haven't even got to this recap yet. So, second last game of the season, Chelsea's on the road facing Brighton. And Brighton's been a good team. Chelsea's won all 3 of their matchups with Brighton this season. And they're a decent team though. They're well coached, but Chelsea just on a roll. So from the first minute, Chelsea was in total control. They were passing the ball back and forth, trying to get some good chances, but they weren't making the best chances. They were holding on to possession, creating good build-ups, and even Petrovic, the goalie, was involved in some of the build-ups. Like, they were passing it to him, he's passing it across, passing it back to him, trying to just get an open lane to get a good attack going. And it worked out a couple of times because they're being very patient. They didn't want to turn the ball over, didn't want to rush anything. They just focused on making good passes and getting up the field. And after a while, they would connect a few passes together and they would create a chance. But obviously, it amounted to no goals just yet. So, being on the road, facing their old teams, Caicedo, who we got last summer, like for this season, and Cucurella were booed every time they touched the ball. Like, literally, the entire crowd, you can hear it. It was, well, obviously you can hear it, but it was just like a buzzing sound. Like, I'm like, why are they, like, the entire crowd just hates their, well, I don't think they hate, it's just like it's just, like banter, just booing them, trying to distract them. They're old players, but it's not like they're like, oh, I don't like Brighton, like, I want to leave. They just wanted to go to, the best club in London. They wanted to get out of the south of England and go to the best club in London, Chelsea Football Club. Been struggling, but Cucurella and Caicedo, as of late, have been thriving. So no matter the boos, no matter trying to distract them, they were thriving. Caicedo controls the midfield, just runs around back and forth, up and down, playing defense, running with the ball and creating good passes. Just been in tip-top form as of late. Cucurella, he's the right back, but when he wants to, he joins the midfield, he rushes up into the box, he creates chances, passes the ball, and he's just been fantastic. Just fantastic since he's coming back. So, no matter the boos, like I said, Cucurella did just that. Around the 35th minute, Cole Palmer, passed the ball to Conor Gallagher, our true captain. Gallagher laid the ball perfectly for Preston Cucurella. Before he even touched the ball, he could hear the boos flying. One touched it into the box, and who else but Cole Palmer to finish it? And that goal, maybe you've seen it. I can't post it because I'm gonna get copyrighted like last time, and the video's gonna be taken down. But there's no way I can describe Cole Palmer's most recent goal to give it any justice. I'd be just disrespecting him. Like I'm gonna say it again. Cole Palmer just makes me happy. I started watching football, just started cheering for Chelsea, just getting to understand the game, because this guy is amazing, and he's literally one of the best I've seen. Like, Mbappe is one thing, but Cole Palmer is a whole another thing. Like, we're trying to compare him to Jude Bellingham. I'm like, after a while though, it's like Jude Bellingham is amazing. Real Madrid, he's going off for the legendary Real Madrid. But after a while, you thought, wow, Cole Palmer, he's really playing better. Like, Bellingham's out to a hot start, a great start, of course, but consistency, tougher league, Cole Palmer has been better than Jude Bellingham. But man, that goal that Cole Palmer made, bro, hit a celebration right after, and even he was impressed. You should have seen his face. He was like, wait, what? Are you kidding me? That went in? Wow. Oh, well, of course it went in. He was running like the goalie went flying. He was running like Steph Curry Steph Curry turns back with his 3-pointers. As soon as he hit the head, he was just like already celebrating. Incredible goal. Like, Cucurella just passed the ball. Perfect place. Cole Palmer reading the play, knowing where to go, knowing where to be, and just making no mistake. And not just making no mistake, but being spectacular in what he does, with every single thing he does. Cole Palmer is just amazing, which gives us hope for next season that we can find some players, Poch, maybe not find some players, but just keep on working on the chemistry with who we have and building around Cole Palmer and making sure He knows like that the game is revolved around him. And watch, top 4 back in the Champions League, 2026. It's gonna be great. So, with that goal, Chelsea was up 1-0. So, the referees are very confusing in this game. I gotta say, they took away a penalty from like Cucurella, ran into the box. He was tripped. They called a penalty, and VAR called it back. The Brighton player, he did touch the ball a bit. He did touch the ball, but I don't know. It depends who you're cheering for, I guess. But it seemed like that could have been easily a penalty, which didn't matter, of course. But we don't know that before the game ends. But it could have been a penalty. One other thing that was weirdly decided was that one of Brighton's players came at Mudryk and just did like this right in his face, like a total hockey body check right in Mudryk's face. Mudryk's down. The medical staff is around him, trying to make sure he's okay, trying to make sure nothing's wrong with him, that he can stay in the game, and he's down for at least 5-6 minutes, and he couldn't even come back. VAR looked at it, and for some reason, not even a yellow card was given to the man who did that to Mudryk. Just did this right to him. How can you do that and not get a red card, let alone even a yellow card? That's ridiculous. So Mudryk had to, he was forced to leave the game, and Christopher Nkunku took his spot, and shouldn't be worried about that, right? Nkunku, he's not starting because he's not in the great shape as of yet, and trying to keep him healthy for next season, but he's talented. Everyone knows he's talented. So Nkunku came on near the end of the first half, up 1-0 going into halftime. Second half, Brighton came out much better. Chelsea was on their heels for a bit, but didn't allow a goal. They've been playing great defense. The center backs, the left backs, everyone is just working hard to help Petrovic and not put him in a bad position. So good for them for improving. Badiashile definitely has been playing better as of late. Chalobah, he's been playing amazing all year long. He hasn't been playing that much, only for the past 6 games. But when he's played, he's been incredible at center back, or even sometimes right back when Gusto couldn't start. Thiago Silva's on the bench, trying to save him up for his final game at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. That's going to be a bittersweet moment, watching him leave the pitch. But Chelsea, even though they weren't, even though Brighton was making some good chances, Chelsea was still having some good chances too. And in the 64th minute, I don't know, people say Reece James is the best right back in the world, but let's see, because we're going to find out what happened. But in the 64th minute, Malo Gusto caught the ball, placed it right in the box for Christopher Nkunku, who just tapped it home. He just tapped it home like it was nothing. And then finally, the moment we've been waiting for, we saw his classic balloon celebration. Took out the blue balloon from his pocket and blew it up. Incredible. You just love to see it. That was his 3rd goal for Chelsea. Considering he's missed a lot of games this year, 3 goals is not bad. But that was his first meaningful goal, putting Chelsea up 2-0. Great goal. Great goal. Good to see he knows how to get into the box and finish it. I don't know what's going to happen with striker position next season, but if it's Jackson up front, Nkunku 10, Palmer on one side, whoever on the left, maybe Mudryk, but he's got to still improve. We're going to be in good shape if Nkunku could stay healthy. Okay. So, like I was saying, Malo Gusto is an absolute beautiful right back. The way he plays, the way he runs, his vision, his skill. He can play defense too. He's just great. Later on in the game, Reece James came on. And After seeing what Reece James did in the last game, I was excited. I was like, okay, maybe he can create some offense. He can play some good defense, save us a game. He can maybe score a third goal. And Reece James came on after it was already 2-0. But if you remember in previous episodes of Sports Paradise, I always said I haven't really seen Reece James play that much, and when I did, he seemed like he was quite childish, like throwing a temper tantrum, getting carded, and then plus he hasn't been staying healthy. So I'm not quite sure exactly why he's the team captain. I think a true leader is Conor Gallagher. That's a true leader, a true captain, I think. And we saw an example of Reece James doing something unnecessary just in this game. Up 2-0, Reece James was tackled. It seemed like it was a rough tackle, but he just lost where he was. Wasn't thinking about the situation, and he was on the ground. The guy who tackled him ran by him, and Reece James just kicked him in the knee. VAR looked at it, and bam, straight red card. And you can only blame Reece James for doing that, because as a captain, how do you do that? How do you put your team in jeopardy? They're trying to make 6th place, trying to get to 5th place, trying to make it to the Europa League next season. And how do you put your team in jeopardy like that on the road? Getting a red card to make it 10 versus 11 when there's still going to be at least 10 minutes of extra time to be played down a man? So Reece James, that's not what a captain would do. That is not what a captain would do, and Conor Gallagher would not do that. Thiago Silva would not do that. Cole Palmer would not do that. And with the extra man, Brighton managed to make it 2-1. And after that, 10 minutes of extra time, Chelsea had to hold on for their life. For their life, I was stressing out, but they're playing great. They held the line, didn't let Brighton get any clear shots off on Petrovic, and they managed to hold the lead and win 2-1 for their 4th straight win. Just a few things. First, Pochettino has to stay. I don't know, maybe if he has to play Champions League or Europa League or a cup final, maybe he will be outmatched. I don't know, but he has been very good lately. He figured out something. The players love to play for him. They want to fight for him so they can, gel as a team. And you can't just kick him out after one season when they've shown great signs of improvement. That'd be just ridiculous. And I don't expect him to be let go, but you never even know with the Premier League. They're trying to win right now, and just might want to get a better coach to do that. But early on, Chelsea's losing. You blame everyone. You obviously blame the coach, the manager. He's responsible for the team. But seeing what he's done now, I think, the team is healthy. Early in the season when they were losing, they had injuries, So I think Poch has to stay. Second, Conor Gallagher cannot leave. Conor Gallagher is the reason why Chelsea hasn't had a worse season, combined with obviously Cole Palmer, but his heart, his effort on every play, his clutch goals in competitions and in the Premier League, we need that. And he deserves to be the captain of Chelsea. Third, Reece James is no captain. From what I've seen, he is good at offense, but he's not a leader. He's not someone that you seem to want to follow. He doesn't have a great work ethic. If he's always getting hamstring injuries, it's hard to predict when that'll happen. But you just can't have that. How can you be captain and not on the pitch? I don't think he's the captain. I think Conor Gallagher is the captain. And fourth, if Conor Gallagher leaves, maybe Cole Palmer can be captain. Maybe Caicedo can be captain. I don't know. Maybe Nkunku can be captain. I don't know. But We'll see. I don't like. There's one thing about being a good offensive player, and there's one thing about being a good leader, a good captain for your team. And I don't see that really in Reece James at all. But hey, if he's loved by the players, then that's great. He's just got to be more mature, which is possible because he's still young too. So maybe he can mature and be better on the mental side and the actual game side of football. So, the Premier League. Going into the weekend, Man City is up by 2 points, 88 to 86 points against, for on top of Arsenal. During the week, Man City beat Tottenham 2-0 in a close game. It was close, but finally Man City was able to break through and score a goal, and then score a goal in extra time to make it 2-0 off of a Haaland penalty kick. It was weird though because the rivalries in football are just so intense that even Tottenham fans were cheering to lose the game on purpose so Arsenal wouldn't win the Premier League. And like that was honestly the craziest thing, which it makes sense because like I don't know, same thing with Chelsea. Like I don't want any other team to win it besides Man City until Chelsea's back and fighting for it, especially Arsenal. Like if Arsenal wins, just not gonna hear the end of it in London, and London is blue. Everyone knows that Chelsea owns London. Arsenal is just a mid team, they've been good, but to be good and then to not win trophies, it's unsuccessful when you're supposed to have expectations to win, and you lose key games when you should win, and you could have won the Premier League, but you don't. Don't even think that. Don't even come at anyone saying London is anything but blue. London belongs to Chelsea. And watch, next season, with the run we're on right now, Chelsea's going to finish above Arsenal in the Premier League. They're going to be playing, Carabao Cup, better than Arsenal. FA Cup, better than Arsenal. Europa League Cup, Europa League, better than Arsenal. Arsenal's going to be in Champions League again next year, and same result, going to get eliminated when they should have probably won. Like, they should have beat Bayern, and they lost that game. So, Arsenal, overrated. Arsenal. Okay. Yeah, but in the Man City Tottenham game, Song Hoing, the captain, he had a great chance to tie it up, make it 1-1, but he choked it. Made a great save. Ortega came in because Man City's starting goalie, he was ran into by a Tottenham player and he had to leave the game. So Ortega came in and he was a stone wall, a brick wall. Imagine having such backup, like Man City's entire bench is stacked. We could just bring in the backup goalie and he'll save the game like that. Literally save the game. And it was funny because I feel like when Son missed that one-on-one chance against Ortega, Man City's goalie, I feel like the entire crowd was like, yes, the home crowd, Tottenham home crowd, yes, he missed it. Arsenal not going to win the Premier League. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, I'll say it again and again. Things like this make me happy that I started watching football because the rivalries are just off the charts. And I know I'm about 30 years late, but I'm glad now I can watch it for the rest of my life. All right, so what's at stake this weekend in the Premier League? Chelsea, after their amazing current run, they're in 6th place, which is mad. They can be 5th place. They can finish 5th place if they win their last game, which is against Bournemouth, and Tottenham lose to Sheffield. it'll be tough because Sheffield is the worst team in the Premier League and about to be relegated. Tottenham, they've been struggling as of late. They only beat like Burnley, kind of like a bad team too. But hey, Sheffield's on the road. Sheffield, sorry, is at home. So they might come out with some fight. So let's see what happens. Chelsea will be playing in the Europa League next year for sure if they finish fifth. If they finish sixth place, which is where they're at now, they'll make the Europa League if Man U loses the FA Cup final against Man City. So, Man City's going to try to win 2 trophies, the Premier League and the FA Cup, after they couldn't get the treble because they lost to Real Madrid. So hopefully they can beat Man U in the FA Cup final and let Chelsea keep their spot in 6th place, or even better, they get 5th. So, the deciding games for the title league contenders are going to be Man City playing West Ham. And if they win, no matter what, they're going to win the league. Arsenal is playing Everton, and Arsenal has to win and hope Man City loses. Arsenal cannot lose. So, let's go Man City. Take it. Win the 4th straight Premier League. I don't care. What do I care? All right, so just as the Premier League is wrapping up, the NHL playoffs are right in the middle of things, right in the thick of things. In the Eastern Conference, the Panthers lead the Bruins 3-2. Boston managed to stay alive in Game 5, and that's been a quite a tight series so far, except for, well, not tight, but testy. There've been a few blowouts. Marchand has been out, and the Bruins managed to survive one game. I think they lost the first game. Marchand was out, and they won the last game. So now it's going to go to Game 6, and let's see if Boston can force the Game 7. As you all know, I hate both teams, but if I had to pick one to win, it'd be Boston. The Carolina Hurricanes have stayed alive against the New York Rangers. They won 2 straight to make the series 3-2. And honestly, the Rangers, they have to get it going. Like, the Hurricanes are a good team. They're a fast team, very talented, a lot of skilled players, good goaltending. But the Rangers too. And hey, it's been a back and forth series all season. It's been back and forth all series long. The Rangers just won a couple of overtime games, so it's been pretty tight. But Rangers gotta stop messing around and take that final win. Igor Shesterkin, the goalie for the Rangers, has to come up big. Like, he has to, not allow more than 3 goals. Has to maybe get a shutout. Just stand on his head for the entire game. He has to do it. Like, I don't know. Maybe, like, I don't want the Canes to win. Like, you'd think as a Capitals fan, Kuznetsov scored a game winner against Pittsburgh, exercised that demon for us. But I just like New York, and New York beat the Capitals, and I still want them to win. But honestly, I just want to see what the city will be like if New York wins the championship. The Rangers, not to mention the New York Knicks. All right. In the Western Conference, the Dallas Stars held a 3-1 lead, but last night the Colorado Avalanche managed to stay alive. Their star players, they're not going down without a fight. Colorado star players. One of their players, important players, Valery Nichushkin, was suspended before Game 5, and he was suspended for, like, I think, breaking the league's code of conduct. I think he's sort of, like, has an addiction problem to drugs, obviously, but could have been, like, alcohol, but maybe it's alcohol and everything, just drugs. So hopefully he can, get the help that he needs, because he's a talented player. He just has to get his act together. And imagine, finding out before Game 5 playoff game in a major game is going to be suspended for 6 months. Let's see. Hockey's a tough sport. A lot of players in hockey, no, not a lot, but too many as far as I'm concerned, have passed away just due to addiction, taking painkillers, overdosing. It's a problem. So he has to get the help that he needs. Hopefully he'll be out for these 6 months, and come back and play well. I'm surprised still though that the Avalanche are down, considering they have McKinnon on their team, Makar, decent goaltending, a good depth. But Dallas's players, their young stars especially, have been showing out. Good depth on their team too. Good goaltending especially. Ottinger has been great. So the series that's most behind is the Canadian teams. I guess they want to highlight the Canadian team, so they want to give them kind of their own day. If they have Game 7, it'd be on their own day probably, and that's tied 2-2. One of Canucks players was suspended for one game for cross-checking Connor McDavid right in the face, and I'm not really familiar with that player who did that, to cross-check McDavid, but he was suspended, and he was obviously out for Game 4, which Edmonton managed to win. That's been a back-and-forth series, and hopefully that'll go to Game 7. I want the Oilers to win that, but hopefully it'll go to Game 7 at least. And yeah, there's a lot of firepower in that series, and it should be more electric. The Oilers made a change in goalie. They started Pickard after Skinner let in some weak goals, so we'll see if that works out for them. Tonight, the Rangers try to close out the Canes in Game 6, and the Oilers playing against the Canucks Game 5. Let's see what happens. So in the NBA, the Celtics moved on last night, beating the Cavs 4-1, and you'd think that by winning 4-1 that it was like the Celtics were dominant in that series, but in my opinion, they weren't dominant at all. Maybe Game 1 was a blowout, but besides that, they weren't dominant. They managed. They struggled to. I wouldn't say they struggled per se, but it was. They just didn't look like a championship team against the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers were missing a lot of their key players. Donovan Mitchell was out, and they were trying to fight, but they couldn't win because Boston just has more talent. Tatum, Brown, Al Horford doing his thing, White doing his thing, and the Cavaliers without Donovan Mitchell are just pretty much role players, So they don't have one guy to help them get over the hump, to score some points, get some big baskets like Donovan Mitchell. So the Celtics, they faced Miami with no Jimmy Butler, and they faced the Cavaliers for the most part without Donovan Mitchell. So they're back in the Eastern Conference Finals, and let's see who they're going to play. Hopefully it's the Knicks. In my opinion, I want the Knicks to win. And that'll be their toughest test yet. Even if they face the Pacers, it'll still be tough. But I want it to be the Knicks. So, how are the Knicks doing? Well, after getting blown out in Game 4, looking tired, looking like they have nothing in them anymore. They just got gut punched and they're down for the count. They returned to Madison Square Garden and returned the favor to the Pacers, making them look tired and winning via blowout. Brunson, the man, got 44 points, and the usual guys, Hart, DiVincenzo came through, Hartenstein with the offensive rebounds coming through, and the Knicks were like, you think we're tired? You think we're tired? Think again. And now they're going to have 2 days off. Like if it was every other day, they'd be playing tonight, but I think they're playing tomorrow, probably afternoon, or today's, I thought it was Friday, but probably be playing tomorrow night, TNT or ESPN, and at the Pacers Arena. Maybe Reggie Miller's going to be calling that game in Indiana. Watch Pacers lose on the home court. That'd be exciting. So, after going down 2-0, after looking like the Wolves were going to roll over the Suns first, and then the defending champs Denver Nuggets second. The Nuggets have won 3 straight games, and honestly, none of those games they won were close. It seemed like the Nuggets were already in shambles, getting upset. Jamal Murray getting fined $100K for throwing the towel at the referee. It looked like they were just gonna, just lose, but they banded together, and they managed to win 3 straight. In before Game 5, Nikola Jokic got his MVP award, and he showed he was deserving of the MVP award. 40 points, 13 assists, plus the big dub. So, Denver's going to be looking to close it out in Game 6. And let's see. I hope they do. I'm not a big fan of Minnesota just yet, but I'm honestly not. I'm honestly not that big of a fan of them. After blowing the lead in Game 4, Dallas came back and won Game 5. That series, Oklahoma City Thunder, Dallas Mavericks, is featuring the 2 runners-up for the MVP, Shea and Luka Doncic. And they've been, Shea's been playing better than Luka in this series, but it just feels like Dallas is just a better team. They have better experience. I don't know. This just seems to be what it is. In Game 4, Dallas was up by quite a bit, and I wasn't expecting them to blow the lead, but Shea put the team on his back, just hit those mid-range shots, and led the Thunder to a clutch comeback win. You think in Game 5 the Dallas Mavericks might be a bit rocked. They're playing on the road, but Luka Doncic came out and showed why he was, top 3 in MVP voting. 30-point triple-double. And Kyrie's there doing his thing. PJ Washington making big-time threes. One of their players, they're trying to do hack-a-shack against one of Dallas's players. He came down the stretch and hit those free throws like they were nothing. And it's one thing to practice in the gym those free throws when you're making them, but pressure time, NBA playoffs, trying to come back and win, those are very impressive for him. He was during the regular season a 50% free throw shooter, and to hit those free throws knowing that they're going to hack-a-shack you is very impressive. So Dallas was up 3-2, or Dallas was up by around 18 points in Game 5. And OKC managed to go on a few runs to make it close down the stretch in the fourth quarter, but Dallas held on to win, then blow the lead this time. Tonight only one game was on ESPN. Denver Nuggets trying to close it out against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do y'all listening enjoy tennis talk? Well, you're going to hear about it because tennis is very exciting. And getting ready for Roland Garros, going to be in around 9 days from now. The men and women are currently almost wrapping up the Rome Open. Clay season is coming to an end, and the men and women are down to quarterfinals, semifinals in their respective WTA, ATP leagues, both in Rome, obviously. I'm just trying to talk about tennis because maybe if you play tennis, you'll appreciate it and appreciate what these people, men and women, go out for hours on the court and do in the heat. Imagine how hot it is. So the women are currently playing their semifinals match. Currently playing is number 3 Coco Gauff versus number 1 Iga Swiatek, and currently, things happen fast in tennis. Swiatek won the first set 6-4, and now she's already up in the second set 4-2. So she's, number 1 in the world for a reason. Coco Gauff is good, but obviously not as good as Swiatek. It could happen though, where she comes back, but let's see. The second semifinals is going to be another American, Danielle Collins. She's been on a roll this season, and she's facing number 2 Aryna Sabalenka. I don't really mind both players. Sometimes Sabalenka kind of annoys me, I feel like, because she's just trying to be, I feel like, very intimidating on the court when she plays. Like she's always like screaming. Like she was facing Svitolina in the quarterfinals and beat her, obviously, and she was just like screaming every hit, and I was like, wow, like that's kind of annoying, it's kind of annoying. But she's a great player, of course, but she's just yelling every hit. So, and that I mean, at this point, should you be shaking hands? I mean, Svitolina's from Ukraine, Sabalenka's from Belarus, and they don't shake hands. I mean, it's mostly Svitolina not wanting to shake hands with Sabalenka, but at this point I feel like you should be shaking hands. Like, the war is going on, sadly, still, but tennis is supposed to separate that. It's its own thing. So I don't know. You gotta be a good sport. I don't really think Sabalenka, even though she screams when she hits the ball so much, I don't think she has really anything to do with what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. Hey, maybe she does. So, is it going to be a rematch of Madrid, Sabalenka versus Swiatek? Is it going to be a rematch of last year's U.S. Open final, Coco Gauff versus Sabalenka? Will it be 2 Americans, Coco Gauff versus Danielle Collins? There's a few good storylines that could happen in this WTA 1000s. In my opinion, what I want to see is the 2 Americans play. As a Canadian, I guess the Americans are all we have to root for because they're closest to us. But I don't really mind anything. I just want to see some good tennis, which no matter what, it's going to be good. On the men's side, they are currently in the last quarterfinals draw. American Tommy Paul won today to secure his spot in the semifinals. And the later match is going to be Stefanos Tsitsipas, who's been on a good run on clay, and he's facing Nicolas Jarry. The first semifinal is set with Sasha Zverev, German, playing Tabilo. I'm not too familiar with the number 29 ranked Tabilo. He's from Chile, but good for him for making it this far in tournament. But hey, I want Zverev to win that semifinal matchup. I think I would like I said about the Americans, like Danielle Collins, Coco Gauff, Tommy Paul, the American. I think I want him to go the distance, but it's only getting tougher. He's waiting to see who's gonna play between Tsitsipas and Jarry. Based on the current form of Stefanos Tsitsipas, probably going to be him he's playing, and that's going to be a tough matchup. Might have to face Zverev in the finals, which is going to be even tougher matchup. So we'll see how Tommy Paul does. I wish him good luck. The women's semifinals is going to be Saturday, maybe noon, 12:30, and the men's final is going to be on Sunday, probably around the same time, noon, 1:30. After a 2-week break, F1 is back. They're going to be in Italy this weekend. And honestly, I'm glad they're back in Europe, because so far it's been either having to wait until the middle of the day for the race, or waking up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or recording the race to watch the next day because it's just been on so early. And now they're back into Europe, so it's going to be back to the 9 a.m. starts, which is good because the Premier League is going to be done on Sunday, and I need something to fill the gap of that Sunday that Sunday spot, the football spot is gonna be taken. It's just like when Game of Thrones was finished for a season or for the series finale, and House of the Dragon finished for their season finale, and that Sunday 9 p.m. spot. It's only like a few things can really fill the gap of those two shows being off for some time. And yeah, Formula One, some exciting races can fill the gap of the Premier League being over. Just an advertisement, if you haven't heard, season 2 of House of the Dragon is going to be back June 16th. I cannot wait. It's going to be, today's May 16th, June 16th. It's going to be Sunday. Fantastic. So, Lando Norris, who got his first win last race at Miami, he's looking to go back to back after beating Max by 7 seconds. It surely seems like it's possible. I really don't mind Lando winning. Someone new besides Max make the World Driving Championship a bit tighter. So we'll see. Of course, though, as far as winners go, I'd rather Charles win. I'd rather Lewis win. Or just, anyone else to make it an exciting race. All I want to see is an exciting race. Just something tight. I want to see 1-2 come down to the final few corners, which is probably too much to ask, but as long as it's not boring, I don't want to see someone win by 7 seconds, 10 seconds, even make it at least a 3-second win. That'd be good. Until there's some consistency shown, like what Red Bull has shown these past 3 years, my prediction is going to be the same for number 1, Max. Number 2, I think Lando is going to be fighting. And then number 3, Charles Leclerc. Qualifying is going to be Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And the race is going to be... Oh, did I say Sunday? Qualifying is going to be Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And the race is going to be Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so whenever the NFL schedule is released, it seems like that's Christmas Day as far as NFL season goes. I guess it means NFL is just around the corner in May. They really haven't even started training camp yet, but they're gonna be OTAs pretty soon, all that stuff, practices, preseason, and finally, September, October, the regular season is gonna be back. I believe the first game of the season, Thursday Night Football, is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be, an exciting game, a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. But the schedule of my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm sure I've mentioned it before. They start the year against the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to be in Atlanta facing the $100 million man, Kirk Cousins. Atlanta's been going through some stress as of late because they drafted Michael Penix Jr. when they just signed Kirk Cousins. So hopefully that won't be a distraction for them. I like Kirk Cousins. I want to see him do well. I have Darnell Mooney on my fantasy team, so I want him to, get some good balls thrown to him. So, the Steelers' first primetime game is going to be Sunday, the 6th of October at Dallas. And then next primetime game is going to be Sunday, 20th of October versus the Jets. Then they're going to be playing Monday, October 28th against the Giants. And then they're going to be playing a Thursday night game against the Browns on 21st of November. So I would say all in all, the Steelers' schedule looks like it's going to be tough. But the Steelers are a franchise, they're a good team. So it's not like they're going to be below 500, of course. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin, even with the worst of quarterbacks, they have decent seasons. Like, they've been playing with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph the last 2 seasons. Mitchell Trubisky was there too. So, like, what can you do about that? Now they're going to have Russell Wilson starting, Justin Fields as a backup, and, they could have a good season, the Steelers. Russell Wilson could surprise some people. Hopefully, with the help of Mike Tomlin, like a serious coach, a coach that Russell Wilson, like, he better respect. Hopefully, Wilson can do well. Throw to, like, George Pickens. Throw to our other wide receivers. I'm not quite sure who's there. Like Pat Fryermuth at tight end. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, running back. We have a good offensive line. We have a great defense. So I'm confident in the Steelers this season. It's just about the quarterback position, which I have good faith in. Offense coordinator, he's a new, looking to make a stamp, looking to make Russell Wilson be who he was when he was in Seattle. Let's see what they can do. I would hope for like 10-6. If I'm being greedy, maybe 11-5. That'd be good. But 10-6 can make the playoffs. Then Russell Wilson can use his playoff experience to get us a few wins in the playoffs. And maybe sign another contract for a year. And let's see what happens. Anything can happen in the NFL. Except for, the Chiefs probably will go for the three-peat. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be pretty cool to see a three-peat. I'm not a fan of the Chiefs, but I don't mind them winning. I like Mahomes. He's really, absolutely the best there ever was. So we'll see. Looking forward to seeing how the rookies will play, especially Jaden Daniels, especially Neighbors, my LSU boys. Hopefully, the other rookie quarterbacks aren't a bust. I don't really want, Caleb Williams to be a bust. I just want Daniels to be better than him. We'll see how Drake May does. McCarthy, he should have a good situation in Minnesota, playing with Justin Jefferson. Addison, that should be a good opportunity for McCarthy to come out flying. So, of course, the Cowboys have the most primetime games with 6. The San Francisco 49ers also have 6, and the Jets also have 6 primetime games. Hopefully, Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy and lead the Jets to the playoffs. We'll see. They got a good team. They're just waiting for that quarterback presence to make the difference. Because last year they had, of course, no quarterback after Aaron Rodgers got hurt after 4 snaps. I still can't believe that, but hopefully he's ready to go this season. Okay, so next week we're going to see who wins the Premier League. It's going to be over. Chelsea's season is going to be over, and the only football left is going to be the FA Cup final, Man City versus Man United, 25th of May. It's going to be the Champions League final, Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund on the 1st of June. And then we'll have the Euro Cup to look forward to in Germany. It's going to be some good football. The NBA and NHL playoffs are probably going to be getting ready for the 3rd round. We're going to see who wins the Rome Open. We're going to see who wins the Formula One Grand Prix. The Jays, they did pretty well this week, considering one game was rained out. They split the series versus the Orioles. They were up in the 9th inning. Romano blew the save. Sad to see him blew a save like that. But hey, tough to keep the Orioles down. They're gonna be starting their series against the Tampa Bay Rays this weekend, so we'll see how they do. And we'll see what else comes up in the meantime. That was another episode of Sports Paradise. I hope you have a good weekend. Today is going to be the 3rd game of the softball league. Trying to go 3-0. Trying to get some more good hits, some more pitches, some more outfield plays. Trying to build more chemistry with my team. I'm going to try to drive down there today and not be nervous like I was for the past 2 games. But once I got there, I was less nervous, of course. But I'm just trying to, be calm, be relaxed, get into the game, just get the game action going. And we'll see how the weekend goes. Hopefully some good stuff happens. All right. That was Sports Paradise. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there wherever you are. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and take care.